You know how to do an introduction still, or
No, that's the
no?
introduction. That's it now. That's really gonna set the tone for this. Hello, we're back. It's Untier Talk, which we have not done, as Sajad pointed out to me, for 11 months. It's been 11 months since we did power rankings that you weren't even around for. It's been a year since you were on one of these, Sajad.
Yep, full year.
And in that whole time, people have still been asking me to bring this back and talk more about PU, and we're finally doing it because we actually have the time and interest. But neither Hajad and I have been super active in this time. We're both actually getting our master's degrees, which a little bit more important. So we got the new solo tier leader, Chlo,
Hey,
who has been on this show several times, I think.
I've never been on before.
Have you really?
I've never been on. Yeah,
Oh God. Well, I
it's
feel
a
like
surprise to me, to be fair.
by the time you were a council member and playing a lot of PU, the show was almost done, right? Because that would have been like a
Yeah,
year
pretty
ago.
much.
Oh, I should have gotten you on to do like a anything goes version at some point, but
Honestly, it
That's
must have
it.
been time zones as well because I remember we used to record super late at night, like around this time,
mhm.
and it probably was not practical for Chloe as well. So that's probably another reason.
I should probably up your audio a little bit. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Chloe is not only the person who runs this entire tier, but also Australian, which is why everything's just so upside down. Um,
Yeah.
no, it's okay. I know how hard it can be to do like this online thing and be the only tier leader, and it can be a whole mess. So, hey Jed, do you want to like play a ladder game while we're doing this so that there's something interesting on the screen?
Yeah, sure,
And I'll
definitely.
join yours
I'll,
whenever.
I'll, I'm going
Okay.
to be on Alt Incognito or Incog, sorry.
So Jad, you have not played for like a year until the past week or so. I haven't. I've been like
Yeah.
watching SS, but I haven't really touched it. Um, Chloe, obviously, you're the one most into this meta right now.
Yeah.
But I guess where I want to start off is, Jed, you were like the top PU person for a very long time, and then you went away, and now you're trying to come back and learn this meta. What immediately sticks out to you? How do you feel coming back into PU? What's the first thing that like you think about?
It feels very, very breaker centric. As sort of as I remember it, like not the exact same, obviously, but very similar to how I remember it, where um, it's more not about necessarily outmaneuvering your opponent. It's more about bringing the correct breakers to the right situations. You know what I mean? And good, I guess, understanding of the meta and understanding where general weaknesses lie. So I feel like this team does quite well at that. I mean, it's not as sturdy defensively as I would have hoped, um, but it still works as a good baseline for some breakers that I really think are pretty underrated. So this team utilizes Specs Rotom, which
Mm-hmm.
I had a quick look through the power rankings. Is pretty like not resisted. Like Ghost is a generally difficult typing for things to resist, and I pair that with the Savali Ghost. And we have Mesprit as the Healing Wisher and General Scarf, Utility Speed Control type stuff.
Where's Rotom?
Eldegoss is obviously the Spinner and in Hazards Control, Water Resist. Um, Gigalith is there as a anti-sun bullshit check, and Cavolt is a defensive wall with Iron Defense because I wanted Volt Switch and I also wanted a full-on Scrafty counter
Oh,
with Rotom.
interesting. Okay, that's the scrafty counter for your two ghosts. I was gonna say I've never really been sold on full offensive Rotom in PU just because it's always felt too common to me that you get like Togedemaru and Scrafty or something. Um, where you can never just safely click those buttons. Like it drives me up the wall, but if you've been running ghost spam and feel that confident in it, I guess there must be something to it. I like what you said about breaker heavy meta though, because I do really agree that it feels like fat is very good. We have a lot of really good walls, and it really feels like who's bringing the team with the correct way to break down those walls, whether it's one very strong Specs Rotom or Heartzard, whether it's one very strong Specs Rotom or whether it's like this slow team that relies on like hazards and knockoff and like a lot of toxic progress, whatever it is. I kind of see it as a more of a meta that's centered around the fat.
Yeah, I'd back that. I think, yeah, one of the key aspects. Oh shit, I got burned. That's not very good. Um, the key aspect I feel around this matter is, can you feasibly break things down without being broken down yourself as quickly? Um, and most of the time, the answer to that is, well, do you have the correct breakers? And sometimes you will, sometimes you won't. I guess it adds to the variance of the tier. But I don't think it's reasonable to come into the tier and expect for you to wall 100% of 100% of everything. You know what I mean? I think that's you have to be very like
Yeah,
arrogant maybe to think of it that way.
I don't know that you're walling 100%, but I feel like you always have like good fat outs and options. But if there is one breaker that's really gonna pull the meta, Chlo, like what do you think? Because I know recently there's been a lot of discussion I've seen on is there like anything worth banning and relooking at in PU, and people have tried to talk about Jellicent, Guno, Gallade. Um, do you feel like anything is too strong in that regard?
I'm sorry, was that directed at me?
Yeah.
Yeah, your mic cut out for me. At the moment, I don't think anything's like that overwhelming, really. I think Jellicent kind of forces a little bit of centralization to an extent. We don't really have that many potent defensive waters checks or anything like that. A lot of people have like commented on how restricting team building feels at the moment, and how you're required to run like a fairy for Scrafty or a rock type for a Charizard, and how team building just isn't fun, and how you can't really afford to run like competent walls for a lot of mons just because you're using one single mon for like, I guess. Sorry, I'm bad at phrasing things. But yeah, there's it. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
If I can help, I think the way it seems is not that like some centralization is always good and cool, but the problem is certain things only really lose to like one specific thing. Like very few things beat Charizard, very few things beat Scrafty, and there's only so many ways you can build a team that's actually going to like work and be viable and not lose to random threats, given those forces that aren't really broken on their own, but when you combine all them, where you always have to bring a Scrafty check, you always have to bring a whatever check, it causes problems.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think on this team demonstrates that to some extent. I have a Iron Defense defensive Vikavolt because I'm scared to shit of Scrafty. No regrets, but a lot of headaches for sure. I think it was either Chlo or Kepi told me to use Mud Shot to hit Toge, because this team is sort of weak to Toge, like a defensive version.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, wow, that's actually a really cool thing. But I don't have the space on the set. If I remove Iron Defense, I just lose to bulk up Scrafty. So
yeah, Mudshot's a fun tech. It's been a thing for a while, but you can't always just.
You can't always just use it and pray.
Mm-hmm.
If this thing is banded or not, I don't think it is based on that damage.
Do you think leftover? This is like totally aside from the big PU discussions. I'm surprised it's not like helmet or something. Like, aren't you running synthesis and regen? Do you need leftovers?
Well, yes. I mean, this is especially defensive variant. I think it was for like Specs Jellicent. I was kind of scared of it, and I kind of wanted, I guess, as much counterplay versus that as possible.
Well, not just Specs. I've seen a lot of Scarf Water Spout just spamming buttons. It's a pain.
Yeah. Well, loads of things that are pains at the moment. I think what I'm gonna do now is check if Rotom doesn't die to knockoff, and I'll use that.
You definitely died to knockoff. That's not a question.
There's no way it dies to knockoff, right? It's a Rotom. Oh, it dies to
It's a
knockoff.
rotom. That's why it's
Yeah,
dying
it's-
to knock off.
Do you know how
Dying to
bulky
knockoff.
your Rotom is? It has 5077. Is that
No, it's 0-0 bulk, mate.
that's worse? That's worse bulk than Chinchino.
Yeah, that's.
Rotom's
I
not
kind of forgot.
bulky, but
I always figured Rotom was a bulky thing. I don't know why.
because the other forms are.
Yeah, true.
Like you go to
I'm
Wash
not
and it's
I need
got
to.
107 defenses and not 77.
The play then is definitely go Mesprit, U-turn, and then hope Psychic kills, I guess.
I'm sure it will after you get a U-turn. What else? What else? What else? I've also been starting and laddering, playing around with some different stuff. I don't know that I have big meta thoughts, though. I just kind of agree that the way this meta is set up, I think is fine, and there's a lot of potential for cool stuff, and I've enjoyed watching what I watch, but it's not like the most interesting. I thought Garbodor coming back would shake things up, and it turns out that once you have like so much boots and stuff, not really, no. And I don't think that's a problem you can solve with banning. And it's actually like kind of the same thing I'm seeing right now in almost any ability, which is like the other thing I've been playing because other metas Premier League has just happened, and I like always play almost any ability for that. And it's another case where you kind of just end up with this meta where because certain things are so popular, because of some Gen 8 mechanics like boots being around, sometimes the meta is just not good. And I don't think there's a lot to do about it. Even watching like a bunch of other tiers, which I've done for Slam and I'm playing in UPL and whatever, it kind of just seems that way consistently. And I don't think it's an I'm older now and not liking Pokemon. I just think the way like the forces we have built up this meta is not good.
I I will say I don't think it's the meta's fault in particular. More so the um, it's more so like the generation. I feel like that it's the generation that
Yes.
I feel
It's not PU specific.
undermines pretty much everything. Yeah,
But
it's like so weird in that way. You know what I mean? Like you'd never expect it, basically. That
wow, lucky crits. But I know we've been
I mean,
like
actually,
bashing your meta a little bit, Chlo. So if you disagree,
I enjoy the meta a lot at the moment. I know I'm not like in that's not really a popular take.
I'll get a
but,
gamer Chad.
For the most part, yeah, I enjoy it. I feel like to an extent that hasn't really been brought up too much yet. Hazards are just like I feel like a lot of games come down to just how you position your hazards, really.
I will disagree with you there. I think hazards have literally nothing to do in this meta.
Yeah.
I tried it. I tried it when I tried it a year ago. I don't know. I haven't tried it now. It felt like, okay, if you wanted to waste your time going for hazards, okay, I'm just going to bring X Breaker and hit you with a hammer until you submit.
Hazards are just tough. It's a breaker-centric meta. If you spend your time setting hazards, like remember when Garb was insane in ORAS? Garb was so good in part because like it was hard to touch and breakers couldn't really safely break it, and the ones that could were kind of abusable. Like maybe you have a Simipour that actually does pressure Garb, but they've got a Poliwrath and it can't click moves safely. Now your breakers are going to have problems.
Yeah, thanks for that. I appreciate you for showing the flaws in my teams. But
No, I'm sorry. I meant the other way. Your breakers are going to cause problems, not have problems. Your breakers are going to cause problems because Garb and all those other mons like are genuinely a lot more abusable. So if you want to go for a Spikes team, I just think it's hard. It's that much harder.
I also feel like Garb isn't really that great at the moment. I feel like Ferroseed is just that much better.
Yeah, that's true.
So like to the same extent that it's hard to break through Garb or in the Oris meta you're referring to, it's kind of similar with Ferroseed at the moment, I guess. But it's also just we have very little removal at the moment. So you have a lot of that's like knockoff spam on every team. There's spikes on every team, well not every team, but like these things are just really common at the moment just because our hazard removal is really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hazard removal sucks, but I mean, you sort of try and circumvent that with um, boots at times, and then you have Eldegoss and other spinners in defog which you think can do a temporary job, like Rotom even. You can use that as a temporary spinner or hazard removal. But again, that's all to facilitate your main breakers. Like, have a choice band core, two things which demolish most things that you think the opponent will bring. And to be honest, the thing that I uh, didn't think I would enjoy as much as I do is um, the simplicity of the meta. Like, I remember being really frustrated when I was playing like properly about how simple the meta was, and like, wow, there's no real like spice. Like, it's all breakers breaking or nothing happening. And I found that frustrating for a while, but now after I guess calmed down a little bit and taken a year-long hiatus, I feel like there's some merit behind, or some type of coolness behind the meta like becoming simple in a way. Because you don't really like. I think I said this in the Discord. Like, I really appreciate how um, Thingy is now a thing. Like, Gigalith is a thing in this meta because wow, I hated dealing with Sun. I played like 5 Sun teams on the ladder, and I didn't have to worry about it once, despite this being a relatively offensive team. And that was, really helpful. And I think loads of Pokemon do that same Gigalith role in like the defensive sense. Like, you can have Wishy Washy that gives you like a U-turn, and loads of physical defense and a water type, and there's loads of different aspects there that I didn't really expect to appreciate about certain Pokemon. But that's a good thing, and maybe that's a bit of me growing up as well, like taking that stuff super seriously when at the time. Yeah.
I
Also
do.
rocking me in this game. I'm getting smoked.
No, you're not. You've got the breakers. Like, what am I doing to this Rotom? I do want to briefly walk back a little bit of what I just said to say I'm not sure like a more boring meta that constrains you is necessarily the same thing as an uncompetitive meta. Like, I've often found OU to be a lot like that, especially like Gen 8 OU I think is very silly. Not fun at all. But you can have a lot of really excellent competition there. And I think there really is merit to where PU has ended up, where you can have a really gosh darn nice competitive meta here.
Makes sense because I think EJ won the last PUPL, if I recall correctly, and he's been very successful in PU since I've left, which
Yeah.
makes sense in Generation 8 because he was one of the best preppers in the tier. Like, he would spend hours combing through replays, finding weaknesses, trying things out. He was a grinder in that sense, and I'm for certain that he would have been one of the ones to figure stuff out. Being one of the first to come up with ideas and whatever. So it makes sense that people who are good at prepping are now reaping the rewards of that rather than suffering, which is a good thing, I think, overall.
And I mean, Pokemon in general and PU in specific has always rewarded a lot of prepping. I can attest to that myself. It used to be like me and you with a lot of just experimenting and practice and stuff. But like, I've been looking through the circuit standings and PPL and seeing like who's been doing well. And obviously, we've only had Classic and Open. Open is a little bit different because you get a lot of tour players coming in, getting like other people's prep. But like, watching this stuff, it is pretty fun to see where people are taking it and like how you perform well. But that's probably another place where we should defer to Chlo and how you feel about this meta.
In terms of preparation, I feel like prep is definitely rewarded a lot. If people are using like a lot of common structures, they're really easy to abuse with just how many random breakers we have in the tier.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you feel like competitively? Do you think it's a problem that people find this meta so constricting and are you worried about the competitive state of PU in the future, I guess?
Not really. I feel like currently with Open, like last few rounds of Open and Swiss, we've seen like a lot of new things come up. that have like kind of gotten around the constraints. Like HO's kind of risen up a lot, and it doesn't really need to account for Scrafty and Charizard and other oppressive threats in the same way.
Specs Hex.
Yeah, you didn't. Well, I wanted to tech you there. There's a lot of random stuff that you don't know about this team as of yet.
So I'm sorry, Chlo. That just caught me off guard.
That's okay. But yeah, I was saying, there's a lot of like new breakers and new team styles kind of arising recently, just to get around the common structures we have. So I feel like preparation is like rewarded in that sense. But like yeah, HO's been on the come up recently. There's been like a lot of high level PU replays, or not replays, but high level PU games. Just like trying out HO and showing how effective it can be at the moment. And it doesn't really need to rely on the same like defensive structures used to check the common oppressive threats.
Yeah, I think that's true. Where from the little I've seen on ladder, I'm always HO biased. I love HO. I think it should be more of a thing, but it does actually seem like something you really can pull off in this meta, which is nice.
Yeah.
Can I burn you? Drat.
I hope not.
This is sad.
No. I have to. I'm relying on this right now.
I know you are.
Please don't get good sleep talk rolls.
Okay, I got a skull. That's all I need.
Oh, do you have ice? Oh, you have ice. Jump.
What? No, I don't. I've got.
Oh, you don't have ice.
I've got barbs. I've got barbs. Same deal. Okay. Man, this turned into a little too much of a distraction. But yeah, I agree, and I guess it also helps that it's not gonna be. You don't have to worry about this for as long as maybe we thought, because today it came out that the release date for Generation 8, we're recording this on the same day as that new drop, is on the 18th of November. That's coming up soon. It'll be mostly past all the major PU tours, but that's still enough for soon enough to not necessarily have to worry too far into PU's future, you know?
Yeah. I also think they're not going to take as long to give us PU this time.
Yes.
So hopefully I won't have to wait around too long just doing nothing pretty much.
Every time we fought for that, and every time it's gotten better and better to their credit. And wow, I actually hit all three when I didn't need to, you know? And I'm sure it won't be so bad picking up PU. I personally hope, from experience, like, give us a new tier every month. Or rather 2 new tiers every month. Like, actually split it up monthly. But if it's a new tier every month, oh well, that's not too long.
Yeah, that's not too long. Did we have to wait 3 months last time? I don't really remember too well.
I'm sure it was more than a new tier every month. I think it might have been 2 months for a new tier. I don't remember.
Okay.
Either way, I'd like to split it up. Like, get that initial creation as fast as you can. But if you have to wait, so hang on, 1 month for UU, 1 month for RU, 1 month for, so it'd be 4 months if it was once a month. That's not terrible. Yeah. That, you know, you can wait, and everyone loves the new gen hype.
Yeah, people always play the PU versions that are like 1 month into Generation 9. Here's what's perspective to be PU. You know what I mean?
That's always fun to mess with. And I'll be, as much as like PU's the main tier and the community, everything is built around it, and it's usually fun on its own. Go experiment with OU when you got a new gen that starts.
Oh yeah, 100%. I innovated AB Tyranitar and AB Heatran. That was my first ever Gen 6 OU team. I love that stuff.
Jed, are you looking for a game, or shall I try to get one that's not versus you?
If you want to search, I'm fine if you want to search.
I'll try to get one that's not versus you this time.
I'll build a team while you're busy searching.
Mm-hmm.
A good idea.
I guess really the current discussion in PU, if it's not what is going to potentially get banned, I got one if you guys want to join. If it's not what is going to get banned, it's this PUPL format discussion. I feel like we have enough experience with PUPL that being out of the game so long doesn't super matter. I think there should be a best of 3 spot, and Hajed thinks they suck, so we're actually pretty opposite there. But
oh yeah, my take on BO3 or best of 3 slots is that like just slots that people will get randomly shoved into and then get said, okay, you have 3 games this week. Hacks, cheese, do whatever you can to make sure the game is in your favor, I guess. And
Chlo, is
in
this
older
true?
generations, in older generations,
I'm like,
that meant like weather and like you know use teams that don't
Oh
really
my god. That must be
you're
spec.
good.
That
You know what
must
I
be
mean?
specs. Surely that's a specs focus blast.
yeah, that's specs damage. Surely.
Jesus, who runs specs mag mortar in this meta? What a Chad.
On this team, that's Spadef Wishy, right?
I don't remember, and I don't want to check because I actually have like private stuff. I don't want to open up my team builder right now.
I'll check. I think I passed you that one, right?
You did, yeah.
Okay.
At least from my experience right now in Uber's Premier League, that's also probably Specs Magneton. I wish I could stay in with Reggie Rock and Body Press, but I bet it kills me. I'll sack Wishy.
Yeah, for sure.
From my current experience seeing Uber's Premier League, wow, he did Volt. Best of three is actually something where people can try and build 3 new teams with support, and even if they're reusing in 1 or even 2 of the metas, you can still get like a lot of fun games out of that slot. I just think there's more to do with it. And as much as I do like SS, I think there's like I've been trying to be positive and be like, oh, there's still competitive possibilities and merits here. Oh fuck, this team loses to Weezing without wishy washy. Oops. Um I do not think that I do not think that you're going to get more out of just a 4th SS slot than you would out of like you're going to force more investment out of a 4th SS slot by making them also play 2 old gens. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, from my perspective, again, it doesn't feel that way. Again, this is like experience from like second NUPL. You know, what I mean, like whenever I've seen a best of 3 slot, it's generally been in and around my teams. Like here are some teams. The SS team, the SS like players built. Here's a team that's in the black white inventory. Here's a team that's in the SM inventory. Have fun. Make sure you don't lose. Type of deal. But maybe that's just been me. So if there's like a majority consensus, then my opinion doesn't really matter that much.
You're not even wrong historically. Like historically, that best of threes haven't always been great, and I can't promise that it will be great this time. I'm just saying, like, I have recent experience being on a PL team where people are putting some serious work into that best of 3 spot, and I think it'll be cool. I think best of 3 is also having recently played in a couple of anything goes tours that have best of 3 spots or like are actively promoting best of like the AG Money tour, that kind of stuff. I don't know. I think it's cool.
I feel like it might be cool if there was like 3 best of 3. You know what I mean?
3 best
The
of 3.
majority of the games are all like just massively stacked the best of 3 slot. That might be an experiment people might want to try, but
That might be a lot. I don't know.
I think we might pass on that one this time.
Wait. There was actually one doubles tournament that I did like 5 years ago with Shane and Yogi, and we played like it was doubles OU, and we played like a best of 3 in that. And all 3 of us had to play a best of 3 against 3 other people, like 3 teams playing
What?
best of 3.
I'm confused.
Isn't that just the same as having 3 single slots though? Like it
No,
essentially
it's
accomplishes the same thing.
No, because each player had to play another player, and then that whoever won that would be a best of 3. Then whoever wins is like I'm explaining this badly. I know why you're confused now. Okay, so imagine a PL where each team is only allowed 3 players, and the slots are best of 3 doubles OU.
All right.
Right, yeah, we played that. It was like a tournament like 5 years ago, and that was pretty fun. Until we played people who were actually good at doubles OU, and we got bodied. But it might be a tournament. Shrugs.
I don't know. Like that does feel like it would maybe tip the scales to too much prep, but yeah, I think best of 3 will be cool, and ADV is not gonna happen, and probably shouldn't, even though I like it, because also it just got a big shift that dropped a bunch of mons that Oh,
I
Poltergeist
forgot to
isn't
think of
Contact.
Poltergeist.
Good lord, that did 72.
Yeah.
I
Um,
forgot that thing happened. Didn't you win though? I think you win.
I think I
Reggie
would.
Rock just goes in, yeah. Oh, also this, yeah.
They Reggie Rock and Sneasel both go in. I think.
Oh, it's a tie with Gina though. Gina tie with Gina.
Surely I beat this. Oh, you wished.
That was not the wish. Was not the smart thing to do there.
Let's go
I
again.
mean, the same thing gets accomplished. But
Does low kick
I assume you
kill?
were expecting the mag switch in, or what was...
I was sure he'd just protect.
okay.
Sneasel.
he's gonna outplay the smokes out of you. He's gonna protect now, go into shed, then back into Dunno, then back into shed.
Triple actual kills, low kick, or knock off with no item. Low kick does 87 to 102. That's a shame. I should have SD'd again. Because I'm not going to hit all three, and then he's going to wish, and I'm going to be sad.
How much accuracy is each one? Is it like 85 on each of them?
It's 90 on each of them, but like
It
so
always
90 to hit the first one, then 90 to hit the second.
Yeah, it's like focus blast accuracy basically.
Another tie. All right.
Do I even bother risking the tie? That doesn't seem worth it. I'll just go.
Yeah, sure. It's Untier talk.
No, I'll just go. It's Untier talk. What the hell? What is there anything else that we should be covering here, Chlo? I think we.
I was just gonna comment on the PUPL formats, if that's alright. Basically, yeah. So at the moment, it's pretty much like only between for the either 4 SS slots or 3 SS 1 BO3. But I don't think, yeah, with ADV's recent developments, someone also suggested that we include BDS PPU, which I'm not really a fan of, unfortunately.
I like BDSP. I don't know about BDSPP.
Yeah.
I don't know nostalgia playing BDSP. I can't lie. I enjoyed that.
Okay, that's good.
You got it and you played it. Wow.
Well, I played most of it. It was on my brother's Switch, so I was playing it with him.
I do have to admit to skipping it, but yeah, I mean, no, BDSP. I'm sorry. I know the feeling of getting.
What's so bad about it? As somebody who hasn't played BDSP at all,
it's just like not really a developed format that much. It's mainly like it's kind of separate from the PU community to an extent as well. So it kind of feels odd including it.
I'm not done.
Yeah, no. And it's gonna be dead when Gen 9 comes out. We're not gonna go back and revisit BDSP. Exactly. I can't. I just don't see it happening. Maybe I'm wrong, and people really will stick with it. It's always possible. People have stuck with some crazy metas. I just don't think it's sticking around. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the future of PU. I'm still sticking around, playing as much Pokemon as I feasibly can while working full time and doing grad school and all that stuff. And I want to play best of 3 in PUPL. I want to get back into SS. I don't know if I'll have the prep time, but I really want to try. And I'm excited.
SS. The best of 3 slot should just be the washed Pokemon players like me and you. Come back and
True.
Bust stuff in the washed slot.
It'll be like me and you and 2 other washed people, and then TJ and Vulpix 03 will wipe the floor with us. Just farm us so hard. Yeah, but I'm excited, and I'm excited for Pokemon in general. If I could, I would if I knew which version to get, I would pre-order Gen 9 right now, but I don't know if I want Scarlet or Violet.
Yeah. I think I saw the cover art. Did I see a leaked Pokemon and some cover art today?
The cover art? No, they showed off. There was a new thing today where they showed off some new Pokemon. They showed off the legends, and then they showed the cover art. They showed, and they showed 3 new Pokemon, including Lipwork, Lechonk, Libeef. Oh wait, beef's a cow. Lebacon. is very cute.
It's
Um,
very funny. I do enjoy looking at those types of things. To be fair, though, those are like um one of my favorite like hypest moments of a Pokemon game. I feel like are like just before it comes out. You know what I mean?
yeah,
In that like that phase where it hasn't come out yet, but you're like getting revealed loads of Pokemon. Everyone's hyped about it. Yeah.
I'll be talking leftist nonsense in the PU Discord all day, but then when it comes to hype cycles around Nintendo games, even if I don't actually get them at launch, just the time before like Kirby or Smash Bros or whatever is just it's always fun.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what we could do? We could do a gimmick corner.
Oh, that would be hilarious. I get Yogi back just for the gimmick corner.
What do you got, Jed?
Uh, I had some crazy. I was talking to Kepi about some crazy stuff yesterday. I'm gonna reveal it now. Hold on. The team I'm building right now is around Choice Banded Mesprit.
Hell yes, bring it back. I don't. Is there a Ferroseed on every team? Yes, I don't care.
Yeah, but it's got Fire Punch, so
Yeah. So you've got to
uh,
run Fire Punch and Drain Punch though, right? Or are you just not running into a lot of aggron?
don't. Drain Punch is a good idea, but Aggron is very like the things Mesprit usually U turns on.
Mm-hmm.
Like Aggron, Regirock, Gigalith. All those mons are like
Sandaconda.
the same thing. You know what I mean? You just sort of bring your. Oh, I just. You just sort of bring your heavy breaker in and okay, how do you deal with this now? How do you deal with me now? And then they're like, oh well, don't. And then big buttons, you think
True.
die.
I mean, it always sounds fun. I'm always down. I don't have anything myself because I haven't actually been building. I've just been laddering with stuff that like Gum and Chlo passed me. But I'm trying to remember what I saw on the ladder. I'm like scrolling through the VR, trying to see if I remember because there was something that was like super fun. I was like, yeah, God, and I just don't remember. I thought I was gonna have something. Chlo, do you have anything you want to toss out?
Yeah, sure. Recently I've been using a Driftblim with the Flame Orb set, like Flabless with a Trick and Strength set, and that's basically going
That's
through a lot of like, yeah,
sounds great.
it's really fun against
That's fun.
a lot of standard balance that you run into on the ladder and offense. Yeah.
Yeah, same thing Jed's doing now. Like ghost resists aren't super a thing. What do you have to hit Scrafty? I don't remember. Does Drifloon?
It runs. I have Shadow Ball Air Cutter because that's its best
Yeah,
flame.
it's just air cutter. That's what I thought. Air cutter, Drifloon, and Mudshot, Vikavolt. Perfect. No, okay. What I was going to say was it wasn't from ladder, but I was playing Jiri in. I got Jiri for PU Swiss round one, which is sad because like I'm starting out. I'm starting out with a loss. That's not fair. I'm, you know, for my first games back to PU, I took Ziri to game three. I'm very happy, but Ziri in game three brought several heat things. It's all public, like replays are mandatory. My favorite of which was Scarf Absol. Um, that just genuinely seems fun right now. Like the knock resists don't really have recovery. You're gonna take a lot of hazard damage and stuff. It's hard to come in, but that like fast spam knock and have the ability to just um actually do that when you're faced with like Silvally Ghost. It's not like they'll U-turn before I can do anything. It just seemed pretty fun. I was like, yeah, I get it. That's neat. So that I for my gimmick corner, that Ziri set, get wrecked Ziri. It's mine now.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. To be honest, a lot. I feel like there's a lot of. I've always felt like there's a lot of room to be innovative with that Pokemon in particular, Absol.
Yeah. Yeah, especially since
That
it got
Pokemon.
close combat, like superpower really felt like it limited Absol. You'd be like not 2 KOing things because of the attack drop.
Yep. I think I have a cool team. Team is looking cooler and cooler the more I build it.
Hooray.
What's the Garb set nowadays? Does it run both spikes and toxic spikes?
So yeah, it's always spikes, then like gunk, bumping tantrum, and then like it either alternates between pain split, corrosive gas, and toxic spikes.
That seems legit. Unless you're trying to do something funny, like the special life orb Garbodor that Ziri also brought versus me. I
Bro,
was like
you really did respect it,
99%
bro.
sure it had to be Giga Drain Garbodor because Ziri switched into it on my Quagsire, and the rest of Ziri's team lost to Quagsire, but I still left Quag in for like no reason at all, and got like that was my fault 100%. But funny set still. I think that's gonna be it for anyone who's still asking like, is Untier talking me back or whatever I'm doing this channel. This channel has always been just like a for fun, like for the community project. My goal has never been growth. Is just to put out like whatever I feel like I have the time to make
Wait, we have one more game. We have one more game. I'm about to finish this game anyway.
and whatever is fun for okay, we'll stay for one more game. Whatever is fun for the community. So it may come back. Untier Talk may come back like for PUPL. Maybe we'll do power rankings. Maybe we won't feel like it. Maybe we'll be like, this is too much. Maybe, I can't promise. I'm not going to promise anything. But I'm still playing Pokemon. If I have like some crazy, if I go like 7-0 in some Premier League or something, I'll probably make a video about my games or whatever. Actually, I think I went like 7-1 in Anything Goes Premier League, and I didn't do that, but whatever. Point is, I'll do what I feel like I have fun with and feel like I can, and that's it. And if you're dying for more different like competitive Pokemon discussions, probably go watch Freeze Eye. I actually have not seen Freeze Eye's videos, but they seem extremely popular with people who I actually trust, compared to most Pokemon YouTubers, where it seems extremely popular with literal toddlers. So go watch him, I guess.
So I need one more Pokemon, and it needs to be a speed control, and it needs to remove hazards, and preferably be okay versus Ferroseed.
That's not a thing.
Oh god.
Speed control, good against
always
hazards and Ferroseed. I mean,
no. Just has a hazard removing move, like Rapid Spin or like a throw on.
Charizard, Defog, Heatwave, Archeops.
Too slow? No. Maybe.
Or are you
What's
going
gonna
for?
be faster than that has the removal?
Are you going for a Scarfer?
Scarf Kabutops.
Kabutops is not good against Ferroseed.
Yeah, but that's the thing, exactly. Like something like that, but that's decent versus.
Okay, I think we should cut it off here to not make the video like look longer than it is, because this would just be bonus anyway. But if you appreciated this coming back, then I don't do anything for likes or support. Like, the videos aren't monetized, but likes and comments would let me know that like people enjoy this and probably would motivate me more to bring back more stuff. So if you did enjoy that and you actually stayed through this point, then I guess just comment to actually like let me know this was fun, or just tag me on Discord. It doesn't have to be on YouTube. But that's it. And thanks for coming back, Jad. Thanks for showing up, Chlo.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No
Bye,
problem.
guys.